Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of RLG Cast Reviews. Today we're talking about The Flash, the movie, not the show. I'm here
Not the
with JD.
popsicle.
He's wearing the Flashsicle shirt. He loves popsicles.
Damn
Remember,
right I
just
do.
help us out. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. It's not going to hurt you. It helps us and we appreciate it. So
Hmm.
we'll do this review in two chunks, a non-spoiler review and then spoiler talk following. And we'll try to keep the non-spoiler stuff quick to get to the full
Yeah.
discussion. So basically in this movie, Barry Allen, who's the Flash, travels back in time to save his parents, his because his mother dies and his father goes to jail for the murder of his mother, but
Wrongly accused. Yeah.
wrongly accused. And so in doing so, he screws up the timeline and now must meet his new friends and get them to help him correct everything.
Kind of form a new Justice League.
Kind of, yes. So we're keeping no spoilers, only to what you probably saw in the trailers.
Hmm.
Um, as a whole, I thought the writing was pretty interesting. And I don't
Yeah.
mean like, this is it. I mean like the actual story was quite like it brought me in, it pulled me
Yeah.
in.
It had that Flashpoint elements, but it still kept it a little fresh and a little original.
Yeah, it didn't go full Flashpoint. It has
Yeah.
the basic elements of Flashpoint without going full
Yeah.
Flashpoint,
Instead of getting Thomas Wayne, you're getting an alternate universe Bruce
which
Wayne.
is fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have loved uh
Jeffrey
well,
Dean Morgan
Jeffrey
back
Dean
is
Morgan. That's exactly. I was gonna say
Negan.
no, I was gonna say Thomas Dean. Anyways,
Paula
um,
Dean.
it's well put together for what it
Yeah.
is. It doesn't feel too over 2 hours. It
No, it
flows
flowed
pretty
really
well.
nicely. Yeah.
Um, I do think there are a lot of issues with it. There's a lot of like on paper
Hmm.
potential that you can see throughout the movie that they never follow through on it or fully execute the plan. So
I
it's kind
think
of
it's
like
because they were building for sequels and stuff, but now it seems like it's a one and done.
that could be it. And the comedy was pretty bad. There
Yeah,
were there were a few laugh out loud moments, but most of
yeah,
it was like they're really trying so hard to do comedy and it just feels forced.
yeah. It didn't work like the way like Shazam works.
No, and it's odd when you try to do really like the straight faced comedy from the Michael Keaton side was good.
Hmm.
When they tried to do goofy comedy with Michael Keaton, it didn't work.
Yeah, and the same thing with Ezra Miller. Like the two Ezra Millers playing, I that dynamic didn't really work with me. The two
I
Barry
was okay
Allens.
with it because
Yeah.
Barry Allen, we kind of know what Barry Allen is.
True.
Like we were talking about this with Caps, well, I was in the group chat, and um, I think that from the Justice League
Hmm.
and from seeing him on The Flash, the show, and then the Snyder cut, I already knew what to expect from Barry Allen. Like
True.
I
Yeah.
fully like anyone who didn't expect what we got, I don't know what you were expecting.
I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't expecting that. It's just I don't know. Like it to me that it just like the two berries they were out trying to outberry each other, I guess.
That's fair. And the comedy between them doesn't work. And
Yeah,
I will absolutely agree with that.
I think that's more what my point is, but yeah.
I don't think anyone got any real deep character development either. I think the characters we got are good, and the
Hmm.
way that they work in the universe that they set up for us is good. I just don't
Yeah.
feel like anyone really got any development. We do get development from Barry. I won't spoil it. But it's like not until the very end of the movie. And that's the
Yeah.
Barry that we know. And that's okay. Acting wise, everyone was good.
Yeah, I really
Uh,
enjoyed Sasha Cale.
She
She was
she
good.
is I really hope we get a Wonder Woman, a Supergirl spinoff because she
Hmm.
was really good. Michael Keaton was really good, and Ben
Yeah.
Affleck was really good. And Ben Affleck is very in the movie for a very little bit.
Brief, yeah.
No spoilers, just preparing you. Um, so I do think there's an opening sequence that's not very good. We'll talk about it more in the spoiler part, but
Yeah.
it's, I think a lot of people that set the tone for them for the movie, and then were unwilling to accept or pay attention to whatever good came after that.
Yeah.
And I understand it, but there's a lot of
Like,
people giving this movie super low scores, and it's
just because
completely
of Ezra Miller.
unjustified.
No. Like, regardless of what you think of the person and the piece of garbage human being that he is, don't let that take away. Like, we got him in this movie whether we like it or not, so let's just enjoy the movie for what it is. And yes, I understand a lot of people are going to boycott this movie because of him.
Okay, Ezra Miller aside, great. If you don't like
Yeah.
Ezra Miller, put in your review, I didn't like this movie because of Ezra Miller. Don't pretend that the movie's
Yeah.
bad because you don't like Ezra Miller. To me,
That's exactly it.
crazy.
Like the guy who put the bad Starfield review on Metacritic, and he hasn't even played the game.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I understand people not liking this movie.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I think a 2 or a 3 or a 4, even a 5 feels
that's
like
not deserved. Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense to me. You have a personal vendetta, and that's okay. But tell
Yeah.
us in your review that's
that's
why
the reason
I'm giving it this score. Don't just pretend that the movie is terrible, because it's not
because
terrible.
if you take away the person, as a whole, the movie was very good.
Very good is a stretch, for me at least. So I one thing I want to touch on before we go scores, I think actually two things. Visually, I really liked how everything looked comic bookish. It's very bright and vibrant, and it has a real comic book feel. However, the CGI is absolutely some of the worst we've ever seen.
It looked pretty janky. Yes,
it looks like Son of Mask like type.
Yeah, it was pretty janky
stuff. Like, I was waiting for Jamie Kennedy to come out.
Like the scenes where Supergirl is like taking off, that kind of looked a little janky.
Those I can live with. It's a lot of the unnecessary use of it. Like when we get cameos, won't be spoilers, they're all CGI.
Yes.
And the opening sequence
was completely, I was wondering what.
But that out of the way, I think the score for the movie, the musical score, was fantastic.
Yeah.
It completely reminded me of Tim Burton Batman or Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
They added that, every time you would hear the swell of the Danny Elfman Batman theme coming in, it brought back like all those nostalgic feelings.
It was very orchestral. It wasn't, they didn't really use it wasn't like a production or a produced techno noise, It was like full on orchestra.
Except that little scene at one of the scenes at the beginning of the movie.
Whoa, spoilers.
We won't talk about it just now, but
I'll score it.
Sure.
First, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Going back to what you're saying, some things I want to touch on. I like the fact that they incorporated some of Flashpoint. They even incorporate a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of Red Sun with Supergirl, right? So I kind of like that a lot. I think my score is also impending on seeing Michael Keaton return as Batman. Brought back a lot of nostalgia, and he was one of the high points of this movie.
For sure.
And contrary to what people are saying, they're saying that Michael Keaton isn't in for, I would say, the majority of the second act. He's like the mid part of the movie. He's part of the focal point.
Yeah.
And that also factored into my score. I'm going a little higher. I'm going about a 7.3.
I mean, that's fine. I'll give everyone Caps a score because he told us it was a 6. Give it a 6.
Really?
Yeah. He originally said 6.5, and I can't remember why he changed it. But I mean, that being said, no spoilers is over. If you just came for this, thank you. That's the review, and we're gonna go into spoiler territory now. And so, first of all, that opening sequence
with the babies
is so bad. Like, they look so bad. It's some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a cartoon.
Yeah. Like the TV series does better CGI than what we saw.
You didn't need that scene. That scene doesn't mean anything to this movie. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Like, I guess it's just to show that the Justice League is not around, so he has to handle it, kind of thing. Like, it's his turn to
But
prove his.
you could have had him do something else.
Yeah, like Batman's like, I'm busy. But I mean, it was nice that they brought Affleck and Jeremy Irons back as Batman and Alfred and Bruce Wayne. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that.
So
This, go
yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
no, you go.
No, I'm just saying, like, that opening scene with the hospital really was not needed.
No, and this is something that happens quite a few times. The Batman that we know from this universe as poorly put together as Zack Snyder made it.
Mm-hmm.
He spends Batman vs Superman wanting to kill Superman for killing all the innocent bystanders, like with all of his fighting. In this movie, Batman is the direct cause of all of those people almost dying, and then he just drives away to keep chasing the guys while Flash has to stay back to save them, which that's like completely negates everything about it.
Yeah.
In the first hour of this movie, as kind of interesting as the story is, it doesn't go anywhere until the end of the first hour. Like the movie that we thought we were gonna get doesn't even start until like the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that kind of felt odd to me as well. It all just, there's so many little nitpicks. They favor. Sorry, I'm yawning.
Yeah,
they favor Easter eggs and references,
cameos
like over the actual story.
Like, okay, going back to what we were saying about, you said the musical score, like we get that little stinger with the Wonder Woman theme song, you know, that didn't fit in with the orchestral melody of the rest of the film, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they had to throw Gal Gadot in there.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I thought that was fine. I was also okay. I love Jeremy Irons being back. I love Michael Keaton. I wish we got more references to those Batmans though.
Yeah.
Because outside of like the physical things that Batman has to look at and be like, oh, that's the Batmobile. That's Bruce Wayne's mansion.
Okay, there was one little throwback I really enjoyed was the laughing box, the Joker's laughing box.
Yeah. But
that was a cool
I would have liked to find out, like, see Michelle Pfeiffer or hear about something that happened that, you know, like, or see that, like, a stupid.
What if they made
a
Batman 89 comic reference, like Harvey Dent?
Yeah, they could have had a picture of Marlon Wayans as like, remember they wanted to make him Robin originally,
and they used his likeness in the Batman 89 comic.
Yeah, which I think that would have been cool. So cameos, we'll talk about the cameos.
Not even late.
It was too much. It's not even nighttime, it's daytime.
No, it's like 5 PM.
So we get 1979 is it 78?
79 Superman.
Superman with Supergirl.
Christopher Reeve CGI and what's his name, Diana Warner as Supergirl.
And honestly, they looked fine.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I was like,
okay. And then we get
a little clip of 66 Adam West,
and that looked really janky.
Yeah,
that whole section looked really janky. And then we also got one more thing.
We got a few. We got can we talk about Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, we could talk the Nicolas Cage thing. I really liked.
Yeah,
the problem was when he turns and you see his face, it looks horrible.
Yeah, because he wasn't
actually filmed him. And used it, because they didn't use any reference points here. Obviously, Christopher Reeves is dead.
Yeah,
but they just fully CGI'd it from like a picture rather than like scanning someone's face.
Yeah. And the thing is, Nicolas Cage would have done it if you asked him to do it. He would have 100% done it. He would have found the time to do it.
Oh, for sure. And
because that was always his dream, right?
I would have liked to have seen the Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. Kind of like what I going back about this thing though, I really like the way they explained their multiverse better than Marvel did.
And they did it in one movie very simply. And I will 100. I argued with someone about that the other day. that was like, oh, Into the Spider-Verse has done it better than anything. And I was like, well, you have to remember, Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse has had one full movie already to explain what was happening.
Yeah.
This movie is a prequel to another movie that's coming where they will continue to explain it. So to say that it did it the best is kind of up in the air. I mean, it does.
Yeah, it didn't. No, I wouldn't say the best, but it did it very well.
No, it arguably does do it the best. But like, you're negating the fact that it did have another movie before that to explain, right? Where like in Spider-Man, what's the
No Way Home?
No Way Home. It's like their first attempt to really give it.
No Way Home,
and they do a good job.
Yeah,
and then a lot of people crap on Multiverse of Madness, but realistically that has nothing to do with the multiverse, that movie, except that he travels to that one universe. They
really focus on that one universe. But
it's
I like the way Michael Keaton explained it too. So when you split off that point, you don't just change. It's not just an arc that changes the future, it changes the entire past as well. It acts, like he said it, he goes, it acts as a fulcrum instead of a breaking off point. And that's why characters are different.
What he did, this is another thing that I think makes it easier to understand, is he didn't screw up that universe. He traveled to another universe that in that time they intersect. That's how he got there.
Yeah.
And to like make them go back to being like this, he has to fix the problems that he's created.
Like that universe was going to die no matter what. That universe was going to die. And the other Barry was trying to save it. And then in the end, he realized it, because the other Barry was the monster. I don't know what you would call him. He's not Reverse Flash. He's not Zoom or anything like that.
He's Dark Flash is what
he's Dark Flash is. Okay. So Dark Flash is the one that kicked Barry Allen into his reality, because without Barry Allen coming into his reality, he would never become the Flash. So he needed the Flash there to create that reality, to try to save that reality. But in the end, that reality was never going to get saved.
And that part I liked. I thought that was really deep.
There's a finality to it. There's consequences to it.
The sort of idea that he had to come to terms with it. Holy shit.
Yeah. And basically have himself kill himself. If that makes sense.
He had to allow all of the things to happen.
Yeah.
He could still save his dad, but he could not save his mom. If by saving his mom, he changed every single thing that's
so to take a Doctor Who reference, that's a fixed point in time that you cannot interfere with.
He can correct what will happen in the future, but he can't change the past.
Yeah, exactly. Because if he changes the past, he changes everything.
So basically, spoilers, since we're in spoilers, his dad went to go get tomato sauce.
Because there's a lot of tomato sauce references in this movie, and spaghetti.
I'll get to that in a second, but he had to go get the tomato sauce for the mom or whatever, tomato paste, whatever he went to go get. And originally he gets it from the bottom shelf so the cameras can't see him. That's how he went to jail. So what he does is he goes back in time and he just moves the bottom shelf of tomatoes to the top shelf so that the dad is on camera getting the tomatoes. And that's how he basically gets him out of jail.
In this reality, basically, his mother's going to die no matter what. But because that's a fixed point, but his father going to jail is not a fixed point, and that can change.
Well, Michael Keaton says it like his parents had to die for Batman to exist.
Exactly.
So the same thing with the Flash, right? It's if you correct that period, that's one thing in his reality that can never change.
Is Nora Allen dying?
Yeah. Which is I like that. I'm very into that.
Yeah, it's but then again, by his dad not going to jail also changes slightly his reality a bit too.
Well, his dad is in jail. He just gets out of jail now.
Out of jail with new evidence. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the final scene of the movie. It changes his reality.
Yes.
Right? Slightly. So now, by his dad not going to jail, it changes who Bruce Wayne is in this reality.
Yeah.
And, for spoiler, George Clooney returns as Bruce Wayne. Something I never would expect.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, George Clooney is not going to be Batman moving forward, but it was a nice nod to Joel Schumacher, I
I'm
think.
sure they would have went with Val Kilmer had he not been going through all the things he's going through.
Yeah, the dude's not in the greatest of health. So
But
I'm surprised Val Kilmer did Top Gun.
yeah, but he did it as if he was sick, which made sense in the scenario, right? But
it was very heartwarming, that scene. It was good. I liked it.
That's
to talk about
a
Top
good
Gun.
movie.
It was a very good movie, yeah.
I think on just raw entertainment value, you're gonna get everything out of this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a straight up front to back entertaining popcorn movie. And the reason I would say it's a 7 over most of these movies, I would give a 6 or a 6.5 is because it has good acting. Like I said, the score is really good. It's an enjoyable movie.
They used the nostalgia right too. The nostalgia was right too. Like
the nostalgia was very quality. It's overused a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked a lot of individual parts here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I don't really have much more to talk about in it.
I mean, regardless, like we said, regardless of what you think of the person, do yourself a favor and watch the movie just for the pure enjoyment of the movie. Put aside what you think of the person.
It's separate the art and the artist, right? The movie The Flash has nothing to do with Ezra Miller's personal life. I'm not sitting here. We already talk about this every time.
We're not defending him. Yeah.
You can go back and watch all of our podcasts. We will not defend Ezra Miller. And that's fine, but everyone else put a lot of work into this movie, and
Muschietti did a really good job in directing. I'll give him that.
I just really don't, for the life of me, understand that opening sequence.
Yeah,
I just don't. It doesn't match up with anything else that happens in the movie.
I think that opening sequence, I think, was still when Snyder had his fingers in it. It feels
had a lot more to do with this movie than people think.
Yeah, and I think that opening scene says a lot about that.
I don't. And you know what? I don't like the guy, but I don't think he would have done that.
No.
I think he definitely wanted to do a Quicksilver scene, but it was so overblown and like slapstick. And it looked so bad. There was no reason for it.
The dog grabbing the hot dog or whatever it was.
Yeah, you could have did it in a different way, like a similar idea, like a truck's coming down the street going to hit people, and you could have had him eat a hot dog stand, go to the hot dog stand, eat all the hot dogs, and then push everybody out of the way,
and still like
kind of like the way, like go by.
Like Quicksilver did in Days of Future Past. He's just kind of moving everybody slightly out of the way.
Yeah, and this one just felt awkward because you had a bunch of CGI babies, a CGI dog, a CGI woman, a CGI background. Everything was fake. And then he eats a vending machine full of snacks.
Yeah.
And it's like you had, like, I just literally made a better scene for you in 1 second. You already had everything there in the palm of your hands, and you chose to make this.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, though, still enjoyable. I think this is a good ending point of this version of the DCEU.
So I agree, but it's not technically the end version, because even though we know we don't know if this Flash is going to be in our DCU.
Right.
We don't know if this Aquaman is going to be there, but we're pretty sure. And we know for sure Blue Beetle is. But apparently Aquaman and Blue Beetle still technically take place in that DCEU. It's just a modified version now leading into the DCU.
Yeah, into the new DCEU. Okay. Kind of like a rebirth.
DCEU, or a new 50... and now it's DCU. We took out the E and...
Birth. Yeah.
But to me, Aquaman and Blue Beetle still have something to do with this universe.
Yeah. Maybe, because like we said, there's also talks about Momoa leaving Aquaman to be Lobo in this universe.
But I heard rumors now recently that they're going to keep him as Warner Brothers wants him to stay as Aquaman.
Okay. Any word on Godot?
They're still saying that she's going to stay as Wonder Woman as far as we know.
Okay, so maybe Wonder Woman 3 is not completely out of the picture yet.
Listen, the only other option is that his wife is going to play every female character in DC's
in every
movies.
movie. Yeah.
And his brother will play every ugly character that exists.
Yes.
And, there's two guarantees in life. James Gunn's family will be in everything.
And everything,
And taxes.
And taxes, exactly. And it also came down that he wants Muschietti to direct Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, which, I mean, sure, just don't do that again.
just stay away from the comedy. If he sticks to seriousness, I think it could work.
Well, we saw it was well done, right?
Yeah, like
Even
the
the
dark.
second It is a well-made movie. It's just not
Yeah,
his fault that the second half of It, the story, is trash.
it's trash. Yeah, but he can do dark really well. So I'd like to see what he can do with The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
because The Brave and the Bold is dark, but there's some comedy elements to it. So we'll see what he can do with it.
I genuinely just don't think I'm ready for a Damian Wayne yet.
No, yeah, we're still too early on that. But I got nothing else.
I'm good. All right, guys,
All right.
thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and go check out his channel.